Hello, my name is Tim Lorge, and this is my Do Something and Record It project for BBE 2201. What I did for my project is observe my and my roommate's energy usage in our dorm room for a week and record it. I didn't do appliances that were mandatory, such as our laptops, because we need to do that for homework. It's not something we can change, get rid of. I was just curious about the energy we could either stop using or cut down on and try to become more eco-friendly. So the first appliances that I observed were our lights. We have 3 lights in our room. We have 2 sets of fluorescent lights and one normal 60-watt light bulb above our door. Altogether, I recorded that we use them roughly 24.5 hours per week. When you add up all the wattage, that comes out to be about 970 watts per week. Next, I looked at our TV. We don't really watch it that much. We watch it for football mostly and some random TV shows every once in a while. So that's about 4.5 hours per week. And the TV runs at 133 watts. Which comes out to be 598.5 watts per week. Next is our microwave. We don't use that much since we have a dining hall, so we just use it to heat up water for ramen or stuff like that, not very often. Our microwave, we use it probably only half an hour a week. This is an average week again. It's some weeks we might use it more, especially once the winter gets here and make hot chocolate, stuff like that. But this week we only used it for half an hour. Comes out to be 550 watts. Microwave uses about 1100 watts, which is a lot, so it's a good thing we don't use it very often. Next is our printer. We never use that because all of our homework is turned in online nowadays, but when we do, it comes out to be 15 minutes or 0.25 of an hour a week, which turns out to be 2.275 watts. It's my roommate's printer. When he was buying it, he was thinking about the energy usage and bought the best, most eco-friendly printer there was. So it only uses 2.275 watts a week, at least for us. Again, we might print more one week than another and might use it more, but this is this past week. So next is probably our biggest energy user in the room. It's our mini fridge. It's on all the time because we always have stuff in it. So yeah, and it uses about 180 watts when it's on, which comes out to be 30,240 watts, as you can see over here. So it's definitely by far our biggest energy user. Next, we have our coffee machine. Coffee machine uses 1,200 watts when it's on. And all it's doing is heating up coffee, right? That comes out to be at about 6 hours a week, 7,200 watts a week. So when you add that all up, you get 39,560.775 watts per week. So in this week, use that many watts. Now you may say that what about the energy that your appliances are using when they're off? It's called vampire energy, and I calculated that 3 of our appliances, the TV, the microwave, and the printer, TV, microwave, and printer, all have vampire energy. Not very much. They had a small range between 0.5 watts down to 0.35 watts. Let's see which one was most. The printer actually had the most. Found that kind of surprising. And the TV also had quite a bit. I mean, up to 0.5 watts. Yeah. So when those all got added up, they all are about roughly 60 watts a week, a little bit less. And so that adds another 175 to this number at the bottom here, so plus 175, making our new total a little bit higher. But Our new total comes out to be 39,735.775 watts per week. Now, most energy, like if you were to own your own house or pay for your electricity, your energy bill would be in kilowatt hours. And right now we have it in watts per week. So what we would do is divide this big number, the 39,735.77 watts, by 1,000, and we'd get 39.73, which would round up to 74. So let's just round up kilowatts. But that's still per week. So now we can divide by the hours in a week, which we found earlier was 168, or I calculated earlier, 168. And if we divide that, we get roughly 0.2365. 0.2365 kilowatt hours. We get roughly that much, that many kilowatt hours per week. Now, that's really not a lot, and you might be saying, wow, this kid's very eco-friendly already, like, why does he have to do any of this? But I figure since I'm living in a dorm, I don't have to, I didn't calculate any of the heating, I don't have to worry about that because that's done for us. I don't calculate any of like the food making because that's also done for us. The washers, the dryers for our clothing downstairs, it's something that doesn't get added up in our room for energy. So I didn't calculate those, and those are big users. Like our mini fridge is nothing compared to those. And if you were to own your own house or pay an apartment's electric bill, those would be part of it. So this is really a small fraction of what you would be paying if you hadn't paid the electric bill. And I figure this is a small fraction, and all these things are just not even necessities for me. So for another week after that, I actually cut off the things I didn't think we needed. I tried to convince my roommates not to watch TV, but they needed their football, so we could only put the TV down to 3 hours from the 4.5, which still came out to be 400 watts, which is much better than its 598.5 watts. I mean, it's dropping some wattage. It's always a good thing. Coffee. We also dropped our coffee machine. Not completely, because we're college students. We need that. But we cut it in half. Went back down to 3 hours. This is because our coffee machine, actually, when you turn it on, it turns on for 2 hours. And why would you need your coffee machine on for 2 hours? It just sits there and heats up coffee that most of the time you don't finish drinking anyway. So we only left it on for an hour or less every time we had it. So that drops a significant amount. And then the coffee machine uses 1200 watts. So it drops it down to 3,600 watts. So overall, we're dropping a total of 3,798 watts. 0.5. That's how many watts we dropped in a week. That's only from cutting coffee and TV by the time that we use them. I also started unplugging the things, the TV, the microwave, printer, stuff like that had vampire energy. And so that dropped 175 watts per week too. So I realized that it's really easy to cut down on your energy usage, even when you're already starting with such a small number. If you're only using 0.2365 kilowatt hours, that's nothing. But that's a small fraction, and it's easy to cut that down. Like I just said, we cut off almost 4,000 watts per week. And for our total, to me that seemed like a lot. So I suggest to anyone that lives even in a dorm, it's easy to cut down your energy usage. It helps the environment. You stop using as much energy, so if you have to pay your bill, you pay less money. And it's better for the environment, I guess. Conserves fossil fuels, since our main energy producer right now is fossil fuels. And until we come up with a renewable energy source that is sustainable and productive like fossil fuels, people need to start saving on energy. So I would suggest anyone to do this with their house. Just go through all their appliances, figure out the wattage, figure out how much time they use, and find where they can cut down on stuff. And if you can do that, you'll start saving money. Pockets will be more full. It feels better. Plus, you're helping the environment. So I'd suggest get to it.